I get a lot of, and I know you get a lot of those, you must get a lot of them. People that'll reach out and say, "Oh, I can white label, I could do this. Do you have any
Yeah,
leads? This, that, and the other." And I'm going, "Okay, so I can see where I'm doing all the work, reaching out to the audience, finding all these people. I'm helping get them, finding out who's ready and who's not, and all the rest of that. And you want to just pop up without me knowing your work, without me knowing what kind of deliveries, what you deliver, or any of the rest of that. And you just want me to send you warm leads that
yeah,
everybody else is either paying for or working hard to get."
yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah,
Well, and what ends up happening with those what you see a lot is people reaching out to you, wanting you to do something for them. They
hmm,
haven't thought about what they're gonna do for you, right?
yes,
So "Hey, here's how I can help you, and so sell this for me, and,
hmm,
I'll pay you a commission," or whatever. It's like, you haven't even gotten to know me. So I mean, I take it back to, 'cause I tell entrepreneurs all the time, the easiest way to scale is to form strategic alliances with larger companies, right?
yes,
So, but you gotta think through. So let's talk about the core value issue. You
hmm,
know, both companies want to grow their businesses and they wanna generate more revenue, right? Okay, that makes sense. But if you, as a small business owner, are you value the relationship with the customer, you value the fact that you want to make sure that you bring a solution to their problem, that the customer is hugely important, you want their input, and then you've got another partner that it's like, well, I don't really care about the customer, I just want to, I want to make a sale, so, and I don't really care how I go about doing it, as long as I get the sale. Well, there's a huge difference in core values there, and
yeah,
that's not gonna work, if so you wanna understand what are my core values. Let me find someone that aligns with
yes,
that. That's the first step in the process, and then it's like, well, there's gotta be a win-win scenario. So, if I wanna partner with a larger organization, what am I gonna bring to them, right?
mm,
Well, one of the things you're gonna bring to them is your lack of bureaucracy, the fact that you don't have to ask people
yes,
permission to do anything, the fact
yes.
that you can turn on a dime, so your responsiveness, your
You're
your
agile. Yeah.
ability to react quickly, agility, all that, they don't have that as a large organization, right? There's so much bureaucracy. They have a lot of money and they can identify opportunities quickly, but for them to act on them is cumbersome because of the bureaucracy. They have to ask for permission to do anything. You
Mhm.
know, now you've got, okay, well, hey, I can provide this to you. You can let me leverage your significant marketing dollars to identify leads, then pass the leads on to me. What I'll do is I'll close the sale. I'll do the bulk of the work. And if
Mhm.
the work that I have exceeds my capacity based on the number of people I have, can I borrow some of your people?
Yeah.
Oh, I can. Great. Fantastic. So now we can get anything done, right? And I'll project manage them and we'll find an equitable way to split revenues on that deal. That's a win-win, right?
Yeah.
But if you're coming to me saying, "Hey, I want you to market my stuff," and but what am I getting out of it? You know?
Yeah.
I know what you get out of it, but what do I get out of it? And, oh, by the way, I've got my own business. My business isn't to market your business. My business
Yeah.
is something completely different. So marketing your stuff and you paying me a commission based on what I sell of your stuff,
Mhm.
again, but what about the stuff that I normally sell? You know, if what am I supposed to do about that? If all I'm becoming is an agent for you, you know,
Yes.
I'm neglecting my business to help you. That's not a win-win scenario, So yeah, yeah. When I get those, my immediate response back is, you know, I deal with people that I know, like, and trust,
Yes.
and so if you're willing to, go through the process of getting to know, like, and trust me,
Mhm.
maybe we can talk about forming some kind of partnership. But if you're not willing to do that, let's amicably part ways and, I wish you the best of luck and I'll do my thing. I'll continue doing my thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I it depends on the day, if I'm being
Yeah,
honest. It depends on the day. There's some times where I'm in the middle of something and it'll pop up and, either get the email or I'll get the cold call. The emails I can ignore and get to when I get to. If I look at the email when I know I've got other stuff going on, I'm mad at me, not
Yeah,
them. I'm mad at myself. But for the calls and when they start trying to walk through certain things, yeah, I actually had an internet provider pop up, and they started before there were a limited amount of options here, and then now they've started to expand it. So that lengthy contract that it was just very exclusive has been opened up, and I was excited about it initially, but then he started hitting me with the hard sell.
yeah,
And like he started pitching something where he was like, "Oh, well, we can get you on this business plan." And I said, "Well, I've already explained I'm a solopreneur, so I don't need something for a big team.
yeah,
I'm the team.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I don't take on more work than I know I need to take on. So you're trying to sell me on something that fits your package," which
yeah,
brought me back to our conversation where you were like, you know what? There are some people that when they're doing sales, they're selling you on the thing that puts them in the best position. They're not selling a
right.
solution. They're selling uh what's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, yeah,
You're worried about your quota. And
yeah,
I'm not here to help you with your quota. I'm here to make sure that my business functions the way they're supposed to function. If I get on something and it doesn't meet my needs, then great that I helped you with your quota, but now you're making more work for me.
yeah,
And he just, well, let me ask you a follow-up question. Let me this, let me that. And that's what I said depends on the day. Because one
yeah,
day he caught me and I said, you know what, I got 10 minutes. He had me on the phone for half an hour.
yeah, yeah,
Another day he called me, he was like, "Oh," and I was like, "We've already had this conversation. I'm not gonna have this conversation with you again.
yeah,
Send me an email when I'm ready to be able to move forward. We can try to pick back up then." So one of the things I wanna kind of highlight because we're joking, but we're also serious at the same time,
uh-huh,
is there's a difference between something being a problem and something being friction.
right.
Friction is something that you can work around, is something that you can make adjustments with. A
Y
problem is a
yeah,
problem.
yeah,
So
yeah,
when you're looking at partnerships, there are some people that, there may be some frictions. You don't align on everything. But like you said, if you are both looking to be able to bring something to market or give the best experience for a client, that's some friction that you can work with.
yeah,
But someone is popping up and they're only focused on what's in it for them, or they don't the end result is they care more about the money than they do the results that they're going to be able to deliver. That's a problem
yeah,
because when they do what they're doing, they're going to remember that you were part of that process.
right, right,
And
right.
that's where that starts to be a problem. So when people are talking about partnerships, for me, there are partners that you can work with, and we both have our own agendas. I'm
Yeah,
going to make sure that I put enough distance between what you do and what I do so that there's no blame coming back to me and there's no
yeah,
consequences coming back to me based on
right.
whatever it is that you do. And
Yeah,
then there's strategic partnerships where we're so aligned in what we do that I know that what I do aligns with what you do.
yeah,
We have similar enough agendas so that I can say, well, when I finish this part, I'm going to hand you off to Jeffrey, and Jeffrey's going to be able to take care of all of these things that I could do it, but it's not my expertise. I want to
yeah,
hand you to the expert that I know that can give you the best possible experience.
yeah,
That's a strategic partnership.
yeah,
That's someone where there's strategy involved so that I know if I come before someone, then when they run into someone that's not ready for their service, they're going to send them over to me. And when
yeah,
I meet someone that's already at the point where I'm like, you know what? You kind of passed the part that I want to work on. So like we can move past strategy and now you're at implementation or
uh-huh,
you're on execution and you need teams and stuff to do certain things. I know who to be able to send them to and things like that. So
yeah,
know where you are in the process. Everything that you'll hear me say is based on understanding the process. The more you understand the process, the better you can start finding partners and people that are worth working with.